I think everyone has made at least one video talking about Hollywood within recent years, so I might as well join the club, you know? Well, there's just so much that we could talk about. I could talk about AI, I could talk about Paramount buying Warner Brothers, Jim Carrey being cloned. I'm just kidding, he wasn't cloned. How about I instead talk about how YouTubers are making movies that are better than any original idea Disney has had since Inside Out? Hollywood is changing, but is it for the better? In some ways I would say yes, but in a lot of other ways, no. The main thing I want to discuss is one particular Hollywood topic that I love discussing, that a lot of people have been discussing for many years, and that is the absurd amount of Hollywood's 3 favorite words. Remake, sequel, reboot. I've talked a lot about Hollywood 2026 having a reboot, sequel, remake, whatever problem, but what about 2027? Here, you know what? Here, just to name a few, we have Sonic 4, Resurrection of the Christ, Beyond the Spider-Verse, Shrek 5, Man of Tomorrow, Minecraft Movie 2, Simpsons Movie 2, The Batman Part 2, Gremlins 3, Frozen 3, and Avengers Secret Wars. All of these are sequels. And even worse, they sound so cool! Do I want to see Lex Luthor and Superman team up against Brainiac? Yes! Do I want to see Jack Black return as Steve? Yes! Do I want to see the Spider-Verse trilogy conclude? Yes! Do I want to see Robert Pattinson look 5 years older in the Batman Part 2, even though it's only meant to be a month later? Yes! Do I want to see Mel Gibson give us the most influential film ever made? Yeah! But for real though, you honestly can't win, actually. Because we get mad at Hollywood for making sequels, yet that's all we ever care about watching. I'm serious, that's all anyone wants to see today. And since that isn't what everyone wants to see, here's a helpful tip. If you're gonna make a sequel, whether it be unnecessary or not, make it good. I genuinely don't mind if they make unnecessary sequels. For the most part. As long as they're good. Which is why when films like Toy Story 5 and Incredibles 3 are announced, I'm not that upset. And if I had to pick between a reboot or a sequel, I'm gonna pick a sequel because at least it's connected in whether it be some way, shape, or form. But it has to be good. Because Scream 7 came out recently, and fans are saying it's the worst yet. But it's making money, so get ready to see Drew Barrymore return for Scream 8, right? I gotta say though, for a horror film that used to make fun of a bunch of other horror franchises, I'm confident enough to say it's fallen down to the exact same problem, which is endless sequels. Shrek 5 also looks to be heading down that route as well. I don't know, people are just saying the animation looks weird. I've heard nothing but hate about it. Also, Scary Movie 6 just released its trailer. I haven't seen any of these movies. I've seen clips, and I will say they are pretty hilarious. So I can see people enjoying this at least. It's not like an Oscar-winning movie, but it's funny, you know, so whatever, people can enjoy it. And come on, I mean, like, Spider-Man 4, Toy Story 5, Avengers Doomsday, they're all guaranteed at least $1 billion. But again, like, will they be good? I'm gonna be honest, it's probably only Avengers Doomsday I'm unsure about, but Spider-Man 4 and Toy Story 5 are guaranteed hits. You know, we're not even talking about remakes or reboots yet. Horror movies are probably the best at this. Name any popular horror movie, and there's a, like a 90% chance it's gonna have a remake. Maybe 2. Right now for this year, we're getting a Moana remake of the original, with a Tangled remake also in development. But I think the biggest thing to ask about these is, why? Like, sure, some of these remakes do look cool visually or whatever, but why? Why would I watch this when I have the original? I'll tell you why they're being made though. It's because Lilo and Stitch's live-action remake made like $1 billion. I kid you not. We were literally this close from, like, Disney finally coming to their senses and pulling these remakes back. Because when Snow White understandably flopped as predicted, Disney was saying they were gonna halt the Tangled live-action remake, but then Lilo and Stitch comes around and makes $1 billion, and now, here we are, Rapunzel has officially been cast. So, yep, thanks Disney. Good job. You almost made a good decision. Now look, I haven't seen any of these live-action remakes. I don't even plan to either. Especially after finding out that Jungle Book removed both the elephants and the vultures, my 2 favorite characters from the original, so I don't even want to know what else these other remakes have changed. I also keep forgetting that Pinocchio and Peter Pan even had live-action remakes. Also, I watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which is even better than the original Disney film, like way back when. But of course, with that film being better, does that mean that all remakes are bad? No. I mean, Ocean's 11 is a really awesome example that remakes can be good, but I think it helps that the remake is actually different, not a shot-for-shot film where the only difference is different actors, like Psycho. I also didn't even know Ocean's 11 was a remake when I first watched it. But to be honest, I think that also really helps, actually. And of course, those changes have to be good. And then we have reboots, which are... Actually, what is the difference? Okay, so a remake is basically doing everything the same for the most part, and a reboot is changing everything, with some things remaining the same. But it has a different tone and starts from the beginning again in a different way. Like how the 2016 Ghostbusters was a reboot, but instead of being really epic, the film was really awful. You know, I also, when these remakes have the same name, I most of the time have to keep specifying which one I'm talking about. Like with Ghostbusters, I have to say which Ghostbusters, or which Jungle Book, or which Lion King, or which Snow White. One type of reboot that I hated was when superheroes were getting rebooted into darker and more serious films, with only Batman being the one that works. So, thank you, DC and Marvel, for scrapping both these options. But see, even with reboots, it's like, you know how you can have the odd remake that's better than the original? The same can be said for reboots, but I did say when you don't know it's a remake or a reboot, that does help. The Fly is another example. I haven't even seen it, but I didn't know it was a remake at first. I also think that's why I prefer the Tim Burton Charlie and the Chocolate Factory over the original, because I saw that one first. I saw it first only because, though, the title was the same as the book, okay? That's the only reason I watched it first. Plus, the factory actually looked more like I pictured. But I think another great reason of why all these sequels, remakes, and reboots are happening is because it's making money. It's playing it safe, you know? If Hollywood sticks with the same safe formula, they think they're okay. And while, yes, sometimes when Hollywood has tried to go in a different direction, it has failed horribly, and then of course people complain why the change was made and say there's nothing wrong with the original. The odd time it is an amazing change. There can be times where a change has been made where it is a good change, but again, that's just like the odd time. And it's not like original movies can fail. The problem is, like I said, people don't care about original ideas. I myself am one of them. Like, out of every film coming in 2027, I generally am only excited for the sequels. But it is getting to the point where it's like, let's take a break from some of these franchises, okay? Let's give these franchises some breathing room here. And I'm not just talking about Scream or Shrek. I think there are other franchises that could totally use a break. Stuff like Karate Kid, Ghostbusters, Toy Story, only if the fifth one is bad. If the fifth one's good, no, five should be the last one. We also have Despicable Me, Jurassic Park, and of course, any Disney live-action film, we need a massive break from those. Hollywood still has creativity. It's just, how can Hollywood make an original idea and get people to go to the cinema to see it? What gets you to the cinema? To be honest, even for me, like, the only reason I'm interested in films like The Odyssey or Disclosure Day is because of who's directing them. So it's like, would I still be interested in these two films if someone else was directing it? Definitely not The Odyssey. So even being an original director is hard because you don't know if they're trustworthy yet. I'm watching The Odyssey and Disclosure Day because it's two directors who can actually be trusted. But what about 2027? I can't find any original idea in the 2027 movie slate that interests me yet. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that's all for today. Click this video right here. You think you like this one the best. Make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys.